Well, looks like my blind reading panel got rejected from BronyCon. Just my luck.
What's up, guys? Llama5 here doing my troubleshoot impression because I love him so much. Spoilers for this. Spoilers. And I just realized that I typed written two twice on my notes here. So I got two pairs of two notes. But my name is Llama5, also known as Joker. I already said that probably. I'm on a real high right now because my wrist hurts. I'm trying to read out my review just after I've written it, or just from the notes. So yeah, this is the review of Appleloosa's Most Wanted. So before we begin, first I want to say, quickly. Oh yeah, spoilers, obviously. I'm getting deja vu from CinemaSins, but yeah, obviously, spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, please go watch it. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, I don't put up the clips from the episode because one, if I put them up, obviously there's a chance the video will get taken down, so what's the point of me putting up in the first place if I know it might get taken down? Two, I also think it's a bit distracting to the video there, so I put up a nice little title card for y'all. Well, this is what happens when you watch a load of Texas accents, or if it's even, I don't even know what accent that is called. You know, it's like, y'all better get over here now. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the review. Without further ado, let's get to it! So, first off, I want to say, even though they don't show much of it, it is nice to return to Equestria's wild south. Yeah, if you don't know, if you've seen the map of Equestria, most of the, barren wastelands all are in the south, not in the west, so it's, I don't know. But yeah, it's nice to return to all that, because we've only had one episode there so far. Which they would show more, but, most we see is the forest, and that's it. And Brayburn just seems to be a little plot device in this episode, He's there to have a broken arm so AJ can be there for him, so that everyone else can be there, the Cutie Market students can be there. And he's also there just so he can let the girls go out to troubleshoot. It's just, poor Brayburn. Just, I don't know, he seems like he could be a cool character, but so wasted. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe Brayburn is just meant to be used for these stupid things. And at first, I thought this episode was going to be based around the Crusaders getting their cutie marks again. Ugh, just doing stuff around the rodeo, messing up. Oh, we're sorry, we should have known this. And then I actually thought when they were going, oh, let's go after Shadow. Not Shadow. Sorry, I'm thinking of my own stuff then. Let's go after Troubleshoes. And I'm just like, it's going to be My Little Pony's version of Home on the Range, isn't it? Ugh. Home on the Range. That movie ain't as bad as you think. Well, actually, it is a bit boring, but I'm glad my suspicions were wrong, though. The episode as a whole surprised me. There's a load of turns in this episode, twists and turns that really put me off guard and, kept me guessing the entire way through. Just love that part of this. It's probably my favorite part of this episode. I really love that in the episode. That's probably pet love, I guess, for episodes or animation, or episodes in general, in TV shows or whatever, is when they just pull something out and I just don't expect it. And not in a bad way, like, oh, I didn't expect that, like School Days. Ugh. Now, I mean, like, you expected something to go bad, but actually, oh no, it's actually this good thing. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, that's one of my pet loves, And this episode does a lot of that, so kind of sauce up for this episode already. I wish they did focus a bit more on the rodeo, though. That's only one of my small pet hates this episode in general, but like one small nitpick. I wish they did focus a bit more on the rodeo. It's like we see 3 seconds of it, and most of it is, the hay stacking again. It's just, we saw this already at the beginning of the episode. Why are you doing it again? At least it doesn't last that long to be called repetitive, but still, I wish they'd show more of the rodeo, the very thing the Troubleshoes is looking forward to seeing. I don't know, it doesn't really feel that much, just small nitpick, very small nitpick, but if you don't pick all the nits, then no legs. And, when Troubleshoes first appears, in the little, what's it called, cabin? No, caravan. Is it called a caravan? I know, I've seen a caravan before, like modern day one, but I don't know. Yeah, they are. Thank you, Fable, thank you for telling me what those are called. So yeah, when he first appears in the caravan, he does all that slapstick, I can't see what most of it is, because he's, it's in the dark. So I wish that, when he bumped his head, like he accidentally knocked a light, and then the light came on, and then we could see what's going on. That would have been better. That would have been better, just to see, the actual slapstick, There's no point in having your action scenes in the dark. Why am I getting deja vu from Nostalgia Critic? Alright, and okay, here we go. Here starts the Troubleshoes love. Even though it started earlier, but oh god, it's getting really stuffy in here. I think it's because I'm out of breath. Ooh. Yeah, I love how, first off, how Troubleshoes talks.
'Cause he sounds like Eeyore if he was born in the West. Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love his design as well. I feel like we've seen it before. He looks like maybe a saddle Arabian, or he's like a proper stallion. Like, he doesn't look like a pony. He looks like a full, horse. And I just love his design. I just love it, There's something bad about it. I mean, obviously they could be a bit more crazy, but I just love it. It looks like, Eeyore on steroids, I guess. I don't know, I think about it. And also I love how funny, fast, and on time his slapstick is when we can actually see it. Overall, his bad luck, clumsy comedy reminds me of my favorite Looney Tune, Wile E. Coyote. You know how it's like, he's trying to do something and then suddenly, nope, and ends up in pain. Although he doesn't really end up in that much pain in this episode, which is probably, when I think about it, the weaker part of the slapstick of this episode, because like Nostalgia Critter keeps hammering down people's throats, and I'm going to hammer down your throat as well. Ooh, that's a very bad analogy. Hammer down the throat, hammer it down. But, the whole, how comedy has to have some part of misery into it. Just because a hay bale falls on someone's head doesn't mean that it's pain. So yeah, I wish it had been more like, the reason why Wile E. Coyote is so funny is because he's smashing into things and blowing up, and he's... But I still like it. It's not terrible. It's just, I feel like there's so much potential in the slapstick here. Well, here we go. The main part of this episode where I want to talk about is the whole cutie mark problem. See, the whole misunderstood cutie mark idea, I'm completely split on due to how they've always said, how cutie marks appear when you realize your talent, like in the Cutie Mark Chronicles. When I did this, I realized that. And when I had a near a seizure speed, and I realized I wanted to do a party in my life, But in this sense, it just appears when he's trying to be good at that. Imagine if Sweetie Belle or Appleloosa were just trying to... We're trying to do, let's see, if Sweetie Belle, I don't know, was... Let's be a bit horrible here. If Sweetie Belle was just mopping things up and suddenly Cutie Mark appears on her, of like a microphone. It's like, oh, I'm good at singing now. It's like, no, that's not how you say that works, episode. I mean, show, that's not how you say the Cutie Marks work. Ugh. They always say that, not a whim. But you could argue, however... And still saying it's bad, but you could argue the point that he realized all he can do is mess up and fall, and, not do well in anything. Overall, I do love the message, though. I do love the message they're trying to send. Despite the fact of confusion, I do love the message of realizing what you're good at isn't always about trying different things all the time, and saying, oh, am I good at this, am I good at that? But it's also about knowing what to do with that talent or gift, even if you don't realize it, Like, maybe if you're good at voices, it's like, oh, you need to learn what to do with it. Or if you're good at drawing, if you're good at mixing, maybe if you're good at talking, which I'm apparently not doing. Well, I'm not good at it. I'm terrible, which is why I do script reading and not improv. Are they a good idea that whose lines at any point to keep rejecting me? I'm probably going to do this year, but, I'm going to go for it. Because, no, let's get on track. This is a review, not a blog. Yeah, what we can hope is that the Cutie Mark Crusaders realize this as well, it's not about trying different things, but it's also about, the actual talent itself, talent, not trying different things. Actually delve in... Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'm smudged a bit here. These notes. Oh, yeah. Delving to... Because I think I mentioned this before in a previous review about how I want an episode around what happens to a Cutie Mark when a pony goes into midlife crisis. Because I think that's a really interesting idea, and from what they've done in this episode, I really think there's hope for an episode like that. But also, it kind of dumbs down because there's a character in my story, and he goes through midlife crisis, so I was kind of hoping that'd be the first person to do that, but I'm guessing there's already someone out there who's written a fanfic or their own story about that. Because even though it's a good idea, I'm pretty sure someone else has already thought of it, or a million people. Aside from the whole confusion, though, of how, the Cutie Mark just appears instead of, I do love Troubleshoot's backstory and how it actually explains, why every rodeo he goes to has problems, and why everyone's like, oh, when Troubleshoot's around, he's rooking the rodeo. I do like how it explains that. It explains it really well, A lot of unexpected turns this episode, again, I wrote here. And it is. That's just the best part. As I said before, the best part of this episode is just how it just sends you for a loop every turn. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Oh, there's mapping again. There's not Let's Playing. In my Let's Play, I keep saying crazy, and here I'm saying crazy. Ugh. Probably because I am crazy. And I realized in the middle of my second viewing, because obviously reviewing, I realized that when you think about it, Troubleshoot still isn't doing what he wants to do. He was kind of forced to do it. in the end, he was happy with it. He says, like, oh, making all you all laugh is really putting me up in spirits. I realize it's what I'm meant to do. And his second cutie mark appears. I don't know. Or maybe that could have been done. Maybe his cutie mark could have changed from a green horseshoe into something else. Because I still don't see how it's like, oh, you're looking at it all wrong. Well, how does an upside down green horseshoe mean you're good at making people laugh? It should have been like, a laughing mask or something. I don't know. Or someone tripping over. That would have been good. But an upside down horseshoe meaning bad luck. How does bad luck also mean you like to make people laugh? But, in the end, he's happy with it, and that's all that matters. It was just a small little side note there that I think he was kind of a bit forced into it. Another thing I realized was that I think he might be related to Derpy, I just don't know what went wrong. Obviously is that Troubleshoes knows that he's doing it, but Derpy's... I don't know, if they're related, then I think we found a new pairing. I'm pretty sure someone's already done that for him already, because this review is going up tomorrow. Yeah. And other the mattress jokes, probably one of the only actual jokes that made me giggle a bit. Just like, gosh darn it, Troubleshoes, I'm running out of mattresses. And one of the really stupid things, or the only kind of stupid thing this episode, was when Sweetie Belle's taking the keys off, while, Silver starts sleeping. He's like, don't wake him up. And then Appleloosa comes in like, hey, the thing's going off outside. It's like, oh, there's a thing going on outside? I'll go now. Why didn't they just do that to begin with? Just have Appleloosa go, hey, there's something going on outside. Oh, they're going on outside. And then just snag the keys. You didn't need to go all Mission Impossible. You can just go, nah. I just felt like that was a bit of padding. Like, just a couple of seconds. Like, are they? Well, on to the second to last note here. The rodeo clown slapstick as a whole with, Troubleshoes, it's not hilarious, but it is fun to watch. Again, the whole, someone has to be suffering, someone has to be in, like, proper pain, like, oh, like, it doesn't have to be, I know it's My Little Pony, but people have been hurt before, like a proper, that's meant to be birds whistling around the head, like, proper, like, because you cannot do good comedy unless someone's in pain of some kind. Comedy is built around misery. Because that's what comedy is, realizing that pain's part of life, or it's just realizing, like, that, I'm glad that's not me. And finally, I'd like to point out, thankfully, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are finally punished for doing something stupid, i.e. running off when there is a criminal around, Even though they did a good thing, it's like, you shouldn't have done that good bad thing. Oh, wow, only 12 minutes this review. Ooh. Okay, so, my final thoughts. Overall, the episode caught me off guard, kept me guessing. Troubleshoes is a fantastic character, really love him. I'm still going to be cosplaying as Rainbow Dash because I've already bought the stuff now. It's a shame. I would probably plan to Troubleshoes cosplay by now, if not. And overall, the message did leave me a bit confused due to the whole, appearing out of nowhere cutie mark, but still, it's a good message and it was executed well. And that's the main thing. Executed well, good message, absolutely wonderful. And the slapstick, I feel, could have been way better. It was decent slapstick, but it wasn't good slapstick, in which... Good slapstick is easy to do. Just, pain, evil and pain. As a whole, nothing bad, plenty of good, but there was nothing amazing. Overall, I'm giving it a 7.2 out of 10. I would have given it a 7.5 if it wasn't the confusing message. The message was still good, but the whole appearing out of nowhere, knocked to 0.3 off. Which you can... I'll give it a... Still, good episode, glad I watched it. Still hope for Season 5. Let's hope that Midlife Crisis episode is coming up soon enough. But, until my next review, or until you see me do another thing, this is me, Lama Pipe, also known as Joker, saying bye-bye. Thank you for watching, and good night.